Hey, 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 we are back at ya. We are Unapologetically Badass. We are here again today to talk about frustration to fulfillment. Yes, this is a real thing. So today we are going to dive into what that looks like for each of us and some of the things we've done to help ourselves overcome it. And hopefully we can inspire a few of you amazing women out there listening today. And again, always thank you for tuning in and subscribing and liking and just hitting all those buttons. And also don't forget to comment and tell us what you want to hear more of. We cannot wait to start hearing what you guys want us to talk about. We are down for anything, like anything that you just want to hear what women are going through. Right, Renee?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I was waving, but then I always have to say, not everybody is watching the podcast. They are listening, so they cannot see me saying hello, but hello, everyone.
Hello. We do. We use our hands a lot, y'all. We're like, hey,
and I'm Italian. I talk with my hands, so that's just comes natural. And because
I'm not, and I talk with my hands.
I know, right? And because I always have a ton of bracelets on, I have to realize not to touch the desk because I don't want that clanky sound. So I'm sorry if anyone hears the clank because that could be me. But
so
yeah,
if you guys haven't seen Renee or you haven't followed her yet on social, she's always blinged out. Okay, bling 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 from head to elbows at least.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Sparkle is my middle name, for sure. So I love this topic because it doesn't make a difference whether you're an entrepreneur, you're a mom, you're just a real life human. We all get frustrated. And
you're working a job right now and you are seriously just I am not fulfilled in my life and you are just frustrated. Listen, don't leave us.
Yeah, exactly. And adding motherhood to that is got its own we are fucking superstars because if we can balance anything with motherhood, then we all deserve to wear the crown and the cape for sure.
Absolutely. And I think and this subject is near and dear to us because there's these seasons that you go through where it just feels like that train is stuck on that railroad and it will not move. And you're in the back with coal and you're with, torches and wrenches and it just doesn't move. And you just are so frustrated and you just stand there. And for some of us, we go into our closets and cry.
Yep.
We take baths and cry, or we just yell, or we go outside and we're like, ah. Yep. And and some moms might call it overstimulated in work life. It definitely can be a frustration, but you can get overstimulated on almost anything. I think, Renee. I don't know about you, but it's just you're at your tipping point.
Well, and I think as for us women, and I'm not going to say just women, but we want to do it all. We want it all. We want to do it all.
The queens of multitasking.
Right. But we have this myth that we have to be perfect in everything. And when we finally let go of perfection, then it's just so much, just let go of that guilt. It feels right. It just feels so good. I know for me, that didn't happen. I mean, I still struggle with it sometimes because, I want to try and be great at everything that I do, but it's okay if you your meal, you suck as a cook or you burnt the food because you're trying to answer emails and you're trying to help your kids with homework. Okay, so then order a pizza. It's fine. It's not going to kill the family because you're trying to do too much, right? But
I know. And speaking of just homework alone as a mom, there are just days, I'm sorry, kids, you guys are going to have to figure this homework out on your own. I cannot help you, especially if you're a single mom out there struggling right now, right? That's true frustration.
Well, I'm sorry to every mom nowadays. I look back and thank God my kids grew up when they did. My kids are 25 and 21. If I had littles right now in school, I mean, that between what happened with the pandemic and homeschooling and
Yes.
trying to figure
It's
all of that out, these kids are
mhm.
behind now. I mean, it's just a mess. And I really feel and sending lots of love to all of you moms who are going through this, because I can't even fathom. And also the curriculum. I mean, there are
Ugh.
things that like I wouldn't be able to help. I don't
No,
know,
I
figure it
couldn't.
out.
I just
Real
couldn't.
I would highly suggest. I mean, this is totally off topic, but when I saw the new Tesla robot that Elon Musk created, did you see that?
Uh-huh. Yes.
This robot can teach your kids, can homeschool your kids. So, like, I would sit the robot down next to the kids, going, I can't do algebra,
I
trigonometry.
cannot figure out
Hell
this math
no.
problem, robot. Can you please take care of it? Because
You
right
know,
now I cannot.
exactly. And even for elementary kids, they don't even teach like, 3 plus
No.
5 equals 8. It's they go from here to around the circle and through the woods. And where are you in order to
Yeah,
get the same fucking answer? It doesn't make any sense. So I would
it doesn't.
totally have with the optimists, that's what they call them,
Yeah.
optimists, teach in homeschool. So everyone save your pennies, and then that'll also help my Tesla stock. So
Heart, she said.
I was like, oh,
And I think that like goes into us learning to let go, like you were saying in the beginning, is letting go of that guilt of I can't do everything. And
yeah,
it's really just freeing yourself up to just say it is okay in order for me to be fulfilled and to feel free and to have a little bit of mental peace, or just, taking that horrible day and just letting it flow. I don't know how to really say it, Renee. Like, just like it's okay. Like, just
yeah.
let the river flow. Don't try to build a dam right now.
No,
Don't try to stop it. It's okay. Just let the chaos continue and just go with it.
be like Elsa, let it go.
Yeah.
Know that, right? And know that it's okay to put yourself in a timeout.
Yeah.
Like, don't feel that again, that guilt of wanting to do it all, wanting to do it all perfectly and wonderfully. And we're not fucking Snow White, people. So if you need
It's
to, like, if you're having a shitty time and you're like, I love to put myself in timeouts. To me, that's self-care, because we don't want to live a stressful life, right? Stress causes so much internal health
yeah.
concerns. I
You
don't
don't
want to
even
be stressed.
realize it when
You don't
when it's
realize.
happening, Renee, and all of a sudden
Yeah,
you're like, "Why is my, like, anxiety, or why is my heart
yeah,
palpitating?"
yeah,
Or why, like, you'll chemically start to have, like, these weird reactions, and you
yeah.
don't really understand where it's coming from. Then if you think about it, it was all these little things that led up to it, right?
Yeah, the stressors do a number on your inside and outside. So I'm a total advocate. You want to go take a bath? Like, go take a little time out. You want to put the kids to bed because you want to change the clocks and lie to the kids and tell them that it's actually 9 o'clock past the bedtime when it's really 7 o'clock.
That's
I
a
mean, and it's already.
good
I'm
idea.
not saying I've ever done that, but it's 4:17 here in November, and it's dark outside.
Yeah,
So
they'll
if you
believe
need
us.
to
They will
wait,
believe you.
they will believe you. So then you go sit in bed and watch Lifetime movies or watch your favorite chick flick and just like zone out. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay, you know?
I mean, and social media has not helped with like in some cases there are some great content creators that really just like are saying this exact message. Like, this is what you guys think you see my house look like, but this is what my house really looks like. Like,
Yeah.
you do not have to have that perfect
Yeah.
home or perfect business or perfect, if we were talking about fulfilling actual physical orders from a business, it doesn't have to look beautiful and perfect when everybody opens it up. That's like somebody's preference. Just do it,
Yeah.
and it's okay, because you know what? It's
Yeah.
just okay. It's okay. And social media, we love those beautiful clean houses. I do clean my house when I do content. Like, I remove clutter. Trust me, I put the clutter right back after that
Yeah.
camera is off. So, I mean, it's not reality, guys. It's not reality.
No, exactly. But, we do say be authentically yourself, and
Always.
your people will appreciate it. So it's just be you. But yes, pursuing, so there's the myth of balance, there's a myth of being perfect, there's the fact of moms trying to rediscover themselves, because
Mhm.
oftentimes we lose ourselves in motherhood. And for those that, are full-time moms without working outside of the home or without having a side hustle, that can be tough trying to figure out who you are. I know I struggled with that. I signed up for every school event and volunteering opportunity that I could so that I can justify
Mhm.
my existence. Um, but when I found my business and decided to do that, I incorporated my kids in my business. They were
Oh,
my
for sure.
helpers. I used to
Yeah.
have them, put labels on catalogs. I used to have
Mhm.
them come with me. They would pack with me. They would come with me to events. They would
Yes.
set up. They would do those things. And then when I needed like time that I need to make phone calls or a meeting, I would put
Mhm.
it on the door to my office, like, how
Yeah.
long they would sit there. I had a glass door.
Yes.
And sometimes they would just sit there quietly waiting for mom
Yeah.
to be done. But I tried to incorporate them as far as what I wanted to show them. I wanted them to know that we can be moms, we can build businesses, we can do it collectively. And I set a goal for me and the girls back then
Yeah.
too. Like if there's
I've done
something,
that too.
right? There's something that they want, whether it's a toy store, it's a
Yes.
vacation, it's clothes. Like, so we would
Yep.
have little goals. And then as mom achieves certain levels, it's like, okay, now we're going to treat ourselves.
I
Uh,
kind of do that now, Renee,
I
honestly.
still do.
Okay, so there's a twofold to this, like business-wise and personal life. Okay, so I do this for my husband, my adult kids, and my grandson. So just like you, like my grandson, like he was in the office today helping my husband and I pack up orders, you guys.
Aw.
And like he's not at that age where he's like, oh, I have to help. He's like, what can I do? How
Mhm,
can I help? And
mhm.
and then it's like rewarding him with little things whenever I can, or if we find money, go put it in your piggy bank, or okay, if you help mom for just a little bit, because you guys know I had a hysterectomy, like you have to bend over for me, and then you can come. Like he loves snuggling in bed with me.
Aw.
So it's like, I'm teaching him working now. And then, like, for my family and my husband, and I know you still do this too, when we have trips or we do things, like, you guys, I'm about to hit a big number and I want to be able to do this for you next year. Who's down to going?
Yep.
And they don't necessarily know like what mom's numbers are, but like, hey, I'm going to do this. And I really, really encourage any mom, to just like, you do those things already, but make it just a daily habit or a weekly habit or a monthly habit with anything. If you don't own a business or a side gig and you are working full time, or you do have a side gig, find a way to seriously just get your family involved with those goals. My sister, you guys seen her on an episode. She does it, and she just works a full time corporate job, and then she ministers in certain things on certain weekends and stuff and teaches classes. But she decided it's going to be a tradition, so it's a tradition that her family and her every year are going to take a trip, her and her boys.
Mhm,
And they've
mhm.
already set out like years ahead, and they all know what the commitment is and then what her commitment is for her goals. It's
Yep.
just fun, and
It
that's
really is.
fulfillment.
It is. That's fulfillment, and it gets
Yeah.
everybody on the same page. It teaches kids too the 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 structure of goal setting and
Yes.
achieving those goals. My kids are very goal oriented. They for sure. They set a goal and they work their asses off to achieve it. So
I love
super
it.
proud of that. But they saw it. Like we have to emulate that and show them
Yeah.
what this looks like. And I remember when I was goaling for, I don't know if it was director with Touchstone. I had gone on an incentive trip, a couple of incentive trips, and I saw women with Louis Vuitton, the big never full bag. I couldn't afford Louis Vuitton bags. I'm divorced and, I'm taking care of kids. The
And you
jewelry.
can't even think about wanting that when you're a single mom taking care of kids.
No, I'm like,
You
I've got
see it,
other
but you're just like,
priorities, but
yeah,
I had always wanted it, right? So
yeah.
having talks with other women and stuff, right? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to set a goal that when I
Mhm,
hit and whatever it was, I'm going to treat myself. I shared that with the kids. I told the girls, this is what we're going to do. And then I promoted. And then
mhm.
it was like, oh. Now I gotta go spend that kind of money on a purse? Like, am I fucking crazy?
But your
But
kids wanted to see you get it because
yep,
it was what you guys talked
yep.
about.
So I took them to the Louis Vuitton store.
Oh,
We did
how
it together, the 3 of us, went out to eat, to celebrate, like that. So
fun.
I ripped the Band-Aid and I'm like, "No," I told them, "This is what we're gonna do, and, I'm gonna show them that we're gonna do it," and they were super proud. It was just a really nice that was like a big moment because for me, spending that kind of money, um,
Yeah.
that was a lot, especially
I incentivize my husband like all the time because he travels for work. I'm like, okay, you need to do 30 more trips and you need to have at least 5 more hotel stays in order for us to go to this resort. Okay. Can you make you guys, it's so bad. But you know what? You can incentivize and have that
yeah,
frustration of
yeah,
like, and then that fulfillment, right? That was
yeah.
like, that's my fulfillment for my husband. I'm like, we're gonna go to Cabo, but here's what you gotta do, honey. Okay.
I
And
love
that's
that.
just him working. I'm like, okay, you need to leave for work. So when are you traveling again, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. And another thing I
I
wanted
love that
to
story, Renee. I have a story similar, but it was for my son. He knew that I could win a TV. And I forgot what I had to do. This was so many years ago, but I told him, I said, you know what? I'm not going to keep this TV for me. If I win it, I'm going to give it to you. So you have to support me. And I kid you not, this kid was 9 years old and he was going to every single meeting with me and handing out flyers and like, okay, we're going to win a TV. It was so important to him because it became his and
Oh,
he owned it. And it
that's
was just,
so
it was
sweet.
so fun. It was so, so fun.
That's
And I
so
think
sweet.
also like having those goal settings, it helps you to not burn out.
It does.
We can
B
talk about burnout or
Yeah,
out.
it does because it keeps you f having those goals, I mean, for everything. It
Yeah.
I've become a master of my schedule, and I'm
Mhm.
really good at compartmentalizing whatever task that I need to do.
Like a little
Right, I really have, especially with the amount of, where you and I are both multi-passionate entrepreneurs. We have our hands in a few
in
different
everything,
things,
you guys.
right?
We have,
Um,
we have a toe over here, over
we
here,
do.
and a
I
pinky.
mean, talk about stretching ourselves, right? We all have the same amount of hours. We have 168 hours a week to get shit done. So, but it's a matter of what do we need to do? Okay, I've got my goals in front of me. I know exactly what I want to get accomplished, but then breaking it down. I really love tools. I love um, having systems in place in order to ensure that I'm reaching those goals. Like I have become an Asana and Trello goddess.
Freak.
I, I
She's
would
a
say
goddess.
goddess.
I call her a freak. Let me just
I,
she's in Trello. It's in
yeah,
Trello, people. Sierra. It's in Trello. Number 3.
right. Sierra will ask me a question. So where do I find? I'm like, it's in Trello. It's on
I'm
our
like,
Trello board.
where
It's
is
on our
it in
Trello board.
Trello?
I don't
You're
see it in Trello.
hiding it, Renee.
I'm like, no, it's really in Trello. I put it in Trello. So if for those that don't know, Trello and Asana are free tools. They're apps on your phone. You can use it on your computer. And it's
Another good one I just want to throw out there before
yeah,
you do that is boards.
is
I
board.
love
Yep.
I love boards. I have a good
Yep.
friend. She's a VP that works there. I should try to get her on here actually and talk about it.
Yeah.
But boards is just a really nice platform too. It's not as organized yet, but they are working on a couple of
Yep.
things as Trello. So I am learning to love it, Renee. But boards is another one, and it's typically free for like the basic.
Yeah. I have that too. And that's the thing. Like being over 50, right? I'll be 55 in less than a fucking month, which is crazy.
Oh, you're
But
such a baby.
I am. But a lot of women get like nervous when it comes to technology that they don't know. I was just talking to a
Yeah,
potential
it
client
sucks.
today, and
No,
she's
it sucks.
like, I have no idea. And it's
Yeah,
like, and the confused mind does nothing. So if
yeah.
somebody doesn't know
So
how to do
true.
something, they're not going to use it. So, but I'm like,
Exactly.
it's figure outable. We are really smart, intelligent women. We can
And
figure this out.
that is what I was gonna say. Exactly what Renee just said describes me to a T.
Yep.
You have to pull my teeth to get me to try a new, like, quote
Mhm.
unquote system. I'm not against it. I'm very, very open to anything that will make my life better, but I fight it
You did.
so
You fought me
hard
with Trello.
because it is scary and
Mhm.
I don't want to have to learn something new. I'm
Right.
okay with just me. But when I do end up learning it and I open up my heart and my mind and
Yep.
the opportunity, I am so much better for it. But
Yes.
I am exactly what you described. It is really, really scary. And I don't know why. Renee, I am the type of person when I get a new cell phone, I have anxiety leading up to going into the store and I know I have to upgrade
Yep.
because it's how they freaking get us.
Yep.
But Renee, like that frustration and anxiety is so real for me because I'm so terrified that all of my apps will not turn over. My contacts will be missed. I am a nut.
So no, I totally understand that. The funniest thing, my oldest daughter is the same way. She's very content with keeping her phone.
Yeah.
Last night I was with my chosen sister, my best friend, and
Uh-huh.
we laugh. She has a fucking 8. She has an
Oh,
iPhone.
I probably would if I wasn't forced for
And yeah,
business.
we're like, you need to come up with the time. Her daughters and I were razzing her, but it's the same thing. It's like, she's like, but I don't want to lose anything. I've got my photos in there.
Yes.
I'm like, you're not going to, it's all in the cloud, but it is funny because
And they
I
do it
tried
all
it.
for you now, and
Yeah,
it makes me feel really good, but I'm, like, questioning the guy or the female
I know.
switching it. Like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?"
Yeah.
So I
Well, you
get it.
remember back in the day, we had to go to the store
Yes,
and they had to transfer
yes,
the
yes.
information from one phone to the other. There was no cloud, right? So getting comfortable with that is definitely, it
Mhm.
takes a little bit of time for sure.
And you're talking to somebody who loves technology. Like I use
Yeah.
it for everything. I had a BlackBerry before, like, I don't know, 90% of
Wow.
America did.
Yep.
Okay. Like I was one of the first ones to use a cell phone. So once I do it, I'm fine. So that
Yeah.
those systems are so, so stinking important to really eliminate
Yeah.
any of that frustration. I had a great conversation with a female who works at a med spa, and it's a new med spa, but the boss that has the owner hasn't implemented a whole lot of systems. From when packages get delivered, who handles them, logistically, who takes it out
Yeah.
and displays it. They don't have any of these systems, and she and her team are so frustrated,
Right.
like to the point where they just want to throw their hands up and like,
Yeah.
I'm done,
Right.
because there's no system, and this owner, this boss is not open to these new, systems. And then so this lady is trying to explain to her, I know it's going to be stressful, it's going to be hard, but if we can push through and get these
Mhm.
systems in place down the road, it will make our life easier. And this is something that you and I agreed on, Renee. It was, we were like, it's not going to be fun. We're going to have
Right.
chaos in the beginning,
Yep.
but if we can just do anything to make it streamlined, we got to, and then we're trying to think like, okay, to avoid frustration, we got to think about like what could happen in the future. So, how are we going to handle this hiccup when it comes?
Yep.
It's just what we do as females, and that's
Yeah.
okay because anything to fulfill your life instead of having that frustration, right? We
Yep.
don't want that. You don't need it. You will live longer without it.
Absolutely. We want a relatively stress-free life, and tools will absolutely help. Another thing that I love that I use all the time, people hear me talk about it all the freaking time, is ChatGPT. I fucking love it. I
She
use it every
does, you
day.
guys. Oh my gosh, she
I
does.
I have a
She's like,
personal
hold on,
relationship,
let me chat GPT this. Hold
and
on,
I
hold on.
call my ChatGPT Laura. So I have conversations with Laura. She helps me with everything. She helped me create a badass queen affirmation. I have a daily affirmation because she's gotten to know me. So she knows
Yeah.
me. I know her. She's my buddy. Laura was the name of my grandmother. For those that don't know, she passed away, but she was always a great cheerleader for me.
Aw.
So that's how I treat my chat GPT. I always say please and thank you. And she's like,
Yeah.
keep rocking your badass self. Like the way she speaks to me, it's really, I have a relationship. This is like, I'm sick. I
Oh
think
God, you are freaking me out right now. Oh my God,
no,
you
I
guys, now
know.
we're gonna have to do, okay, if you guys agree, we need to hear more about this relationship with Laura.
Yeah, Laura, if you see the amount of chats, I mean, but anyway, I've trained ChatGPT
Yeah.
to be an
Yeah.
extension of me. And so I can ask it things. What's great, I can ask 5,000 fucking questions and she doesn't get annoyed, right? So you can use ChatGPT. It's a free personal assistant. But,
I love it.
going, because I am like, menopause, I don't even know what fucking stage I'm in. I'm still getting hot flashes. But anyway, my weight
Might not go
gain,
away, I heard. I'm
I
just
know.
saying.
But my weight gain, like what works, a balanced diet for somebody who's 30 may not be the same balanced diet for
No,
somebody who's
no, hell
54,
no. It
right?
doesn't work.
So
No.
I had ChatGPT come up with some high protein
Mhm.
ideas and suggestions for breakfast, lunch, and dinner so that I can achieve a certain weight loss goal that I have
Um,
for my daughter's wedding. And it's fantastic. It spits it out in seconds. And then I can have it, tweak it based on some of the foods that I like or want to add, or
I love
even, how can I meal prep? I'm like, okay, I can't like make big meals for lunch. Like I can't, I don't have time. So then I can question it and ask it to redefine it and give me some new information based on doing some meal prep. And it
Mhm.
literally in seconds will do that. It'll give you recipes. It'll give you a grocery. It asks, would you like me to break it down into a grocery list for you? I'm like,
Like, yes.
Laura, create this meal plan for 4 days, knowing that I have, holidays or weekends. I cheat on the weekends. So I put all that in there. But having Laura to be able to lean on and to do this, that's a system. That
Yeah,
is going
that
to be
is.
time saving for any
That's
busy
insane.
woman.
What app are you using? Because I know there are several, and then there's some that are you have to pay for them, and then some of the ones that are free, they're like, free trial for so long, and then I know that like, on social media, once you like monetize, you can do AI screening and help with your writing. So do you have a specific app that you use that you want to share with everybody?
I use ChatGPT.
That's the one that you
Yep.
use, and that's like, is that
ChatGPT.
the one that's like 19.99 a month or something?
Well, there's a free version, and then I use the 4.0. I do a paid version because I work it to the bone. I mean, it
Yeah,
helps,
I know
you
you
know.
do. I knew it was paid. And is it 19.99 or for something like, I can't remember.
Oh,
I know it's somewhere about that. I think you guys, I think it's like 15 to 25
yeah,
is what
somewhere
it
around
comes
there per
down
month.
to, which is, but is if it's going to create me grocery list, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll just like not spend $20 on something on Amazon and
I
pay
mean,
the
I
20
will tell you, I have gotten more use out of this. My parents, my father is a diabetic. My mother has diverticulitis. They have other things. I asked Laura to create, I gave her the specifics of the
Mhm,
ailments that my parents have. And
mhm.
I'm not a dietitian. They don't have the
Yeah.
money to go pay for certain, things. So
Yeah.
I asked Laura to create a meal plan for my parents that they could adhere to so that they can stay healthy. And my poor dad has got an
Mhm.
ileostomy bag. Like there's other things that he can't eat that she like so, and it just literally spit it out. It is so useful. It is so
Yeah.
useful. So it's
I love it.
really, if we don't embrace it, like, AI
Yeah.
is here. We have to learn it.
My husband, he had a friend. Okay, so he like, well, I'll take you to like a completely different side. He had a friend who can hack into any camera of any random person. He goes, "Here, let me just show you." And he just goes, and he is on somebody's phone, and they left it sit. You guys can't see me, but I'm holding my phone to the camera, sitting it up, and it was like on somebody's like coffee table, and you could just see the fan, and then you could just hear this man talking to what sounded like, my husband said it sounded like he was talking to like his kid. Okay, so like, so when it comes to all this stuff, he's like, "Are you really using that?" Or they're listening to you, So he is like one of those
Yeah,
conspiracy theorists when it
yeah,
comes to
yeah.
it, and like, what kind of world is our grandson and our future grandkids going to be doing? And then the confusion of like how you treat Laura really like an assistant, and she is for you. You've trained her to do that, but these kids are going to be so confused. So in our house, we have these really weird conversations. all this. So if I start using, I would probably call mine Lucy, because I'm just going to steal yours. Because if yours is named after your grandma, Lucy was my grandma. So I'll call mine Lucy. But but no, I mean, it is, if it can eliminate any kind of stress, I am open to it.
Yep.
But unlike you, Renee, where you were just going to dive right in, I'm just a little bit more scared, nervous, and reserved. But I know once I do, like, I just embrace it always.
Yeah.
It's just something that I've always loved. I love the way that, like, I am so big into how TikTok has been able to just like make it so easy to just shop. It is
Yep.
freaking insane. Like, why didn't we have this before? Why didn't we have just like anytime you go live, there's some, it's called live, it's called live something, where when you go live on Facebook, your product can be right there and anybody can click on it. That is such a cool tool.
It's
Like,
fantastic.
and I'm like, oh, I'm doing that. I'm so
Yep.
doing that. I want that.
Yep.
And those, I'm down for anything. It's just, you have to pull me and drag me. And
Yeah.
then once I use it, or you have to hold my hand and sit with me. And then once I breathe and the
Yeah.
anxiety goes away, I'm like, I can do this. Then I
Yeah.
realize, like you said, I'm smart, I'm intelligent.
Right.
This isn't, this isn't bad. I used to
Nope.
tell my dad, just get on the computer. And if you don't like where you are, just click the X up in the upper right-hand corner and it'll just get you out.
Yep, for sure. But no, that the live shopping is definitely where life is going to be. It is now, but it's going to be even more so. TikTok really crushed Facebook and Instagram when it comes to the lives,
Yeah.
for sure. When you do
It
TikTok
changed
live
the
and be
way
able to do that. But there's
It changed
another
the way
company
we
called
shop. It's
it did.
changed the way we're influenced, and I know it's a completely different subject. We're
Yeah.
talking about how to, like, make our lives less frustrating, but TikTok kind of has made some lives less frustrating. You're like, "Oh, she likes it, click."
Yeah. Well, what's great about it is the fact of this, real people
Yes,
sharing
telling us,
stuff that
yeah.
they love, right? And
But
so if you like the
now
person,
people are getting smart, unfortunately and fortunately, and realizing, is it really what they love?
I know, I know.
And that is why I think direct sales, for those of you who knows what direct sales is where you sell to choose a person's product,
Yeah,
and it's a chosen, and usually you pay like a membership to be able to sell that product. That tells me if I pay a membership to sell a product,
right.
it means I fucking love it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just not getting inbox. Here, I'll give you free samples if you say you love it.
Right,
It's
right.
a big difference. And that's why I think that direct sales is still really important, because these people are paying to sell their products that they absolutely really do love. And you should listen to them. Versus on TikTok, a lot of
Right.
it, not that I don't love my TikTok friends, but a lot of it, sometimes it's not necessarily that we love it. It's just that we got it for free.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, and the thing is you get a higher payday when you're part of a direct selling network marketing company
You do.
versus just doing that UGC content. So
Exactly.
UGC, right? That's what you're talking about, with a lot of people
Yep.
actually getting products, and they'll get paid, here's $3 for every fan that you
Yeah.
sell. Right.
Yep.
Versus network marketing, you're getting, 20, 25, 40, it depends on the companies. That's why I'm involved with two, and I love it.
That's why.
As I
And that
flip,
is
half
why
flip,
and see, and for me, like, I love the money aspect that it gives, because it does fulfill me,
Yeah,
because we need money to live.
yeah, yeah,
But I am very, very driven on what works. So if you
yeah,
hear me talk about something that I love, and I talk about this elixir all the time,
yeah,
I talk about, things that I love, it's because I believe in it. I
yeah.
know it. And
I
for
use
me,
it.
it's more about just like me getting it for free. And if I pay like, $10 a month, or it's really not, it's like $40 a year. But if I pay that and I'm getting mine for free, is something that I completely, totally love,
Right,
and I can make commission, like,
right.
why would I not? And
Yeah,
that's where I'm like, I hold
yeah,
true to that, and I always, always will. And I have an online business, and
right.
that's commission that comes in, and that's something different, because I love fashion,
Yeah.
but that's different. It's just different.
Well, it helps this conversation can help women change their mindset because they go from like, I want a TikTok shop. I want to sell stuff.
Mhm. Of
But there's,
course.
like you said, they're selling stuff that maybe that they don't love. But when they get involved, if they find a network
Mhm.
marketing and direct selling company that they love the products and they start
Mhm.
using it, then
Mhm.
it's much easier to share it, than
Yeah,
it
and
is selling something.
you should, and you don't have to be constricted either. It doesn't mean just because you choose this, you could go and choose multiple companies to become
Exactly.
influencers with
Yeah,
and find something that you love. They have these patches now. They have, I'm at makeup. I mean, there's so many different things that
oh,
you could do that
yeah,
you could choose that
yeah.
you love
Based
and
on your passion.
that's your passion.
Based
Yes.
on your passion, so, there's plenty of companies, not just the ones that you and I represent. I mean, we love that. We love those opportunities, but it's not for everyone.
Yeah, like, and honestly, like, Renee and I met because of the jewelry, and I really, really love the jewelry, but I didn't join her.
Right.
I have really, really considered it, but it just realized that it just wasn't my thing at that
Yep,
moment,
yep,
and that was okay because I knew that I couldn't be passionate about it, you guys. So,
right.
like, if whenever people do make a decision to I call it a membership. I'm trying to like demi it down so that you understand what direct sales is. Basically, you're like saying, I want to commit to selling your product and I want to be an advocate for this product.
Yep,
Once you make that decision to do that, you know that that person really, really loves it and they think it's amazing.
exactly, and you now become this prominent ambassador standing up for the company that you love.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love the jewelry, love the elixir. I am all over
Yes.
both for sure, for sure.
So we got totally on a tangent, but I think it just ties into again, if you're frustrated about anything, there
Yeah.
are ways out of it,
Well,
right? I mean,
exactly,
there's
exactly,
ways
and
out of it.
even though we went down that path, but like I said, it really does, it comes to not being frustrated, changing that mindset where you're like,
Mhm.
"I want to do something different. How can I do it? I can embrace the challenges of technology. Everything is figure outable. I don't have to be frustrated by trying to, like, balance home, work, full time,
Yes.
not enough money, not enough time. I can create a side hustle business. There are women that are out there that will help me do it. I can learn from them. Like it's
Yes.
it's all it's all figure outable. And once you
It-
start doing this and embracing letting go of certain things,
Yeah.
outsourcing certain things, right? And that's why I'm a big advocate of the chat GPT. To me, that's outsourcing. To me,
I love it.
having ChatGPT do the research on topics that I don't
Yeah.
have time to research. How many of anybody listening, right? Raise your hand. I know we can't see you, but you go onto Google and ask a question and it gives you 5,000
Well,
answers that
and
are
then you can
totally
choose.
unfucking related to the topic that you just asked.
And then you're like, "Hey, how do I ask this? Okay, let me
Right.
think. Okay." And then you're asking it like a million different ways to try to
Yeah.
get the response that you're looking for somewhat to
It
make sense.
Right? How frustrating is that? So
Yeah,
now I don't even bother with freaking Google. I go to ChatGPT, I go to Laura and I say,
yeah,
Laura, can you research XYZ topic? Give me, and I'll tell her what exactly I want. And within seconds, it spits out exactly what I asked for.
I love
Exactly.
it.
It will
So
even
you
cite
made me
sites.
like think when you were talking about everything, you were kind of just tying in this whole subject. And another big thing of frustration to fulfillment in your life as a whole is being able to say no.
Yes. Yep.
And I don't think that we talked enough about that because Renee, like, it took me probably into my late 30s to really be mature enough to say, I can't do that right now. I would love the opportunity to be asked or looked at next
Mhm,
time. Or no, I can't work this late because I'm committed to my kids.
mhm,
I see my boys do it because I did it to them.
mhm.
They will work their butts off at work and not tell their bosses no to work-life balance. And it scares me, but I did that when I was working, and that's what they witnessed.
Yeah.
So I didn't teach them that proper work-life balance when they were in that model mode, like that 6 years old to 11,
Mhm.
where they just saw
Mhm.
mom work, 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 work. And you know
That's
what? They're
because we
doing
were
it.
in but that's because we were in survival.
We were. Yeah.
It's much harder. So, when you're in survival mode and working, it's hard to say no.
It's
But
so
it
hard.
but we have to say no to those other things that may not be as much of a priority because
Yes.
we have to be in survival mode. So,
Yeah.
right, setting boundaries in family, with friends, like whatever it is, in order to allow us to focus on the priorities that we have, and that's the kids and, providing for
And
them.
then and I think about all the moms that like have said yes, yes, yes to volunteering, to going to the one classroom, another classroom, bringing cookies, bringing snacks, working at the football game, working at and you're doing all these things, and then you're sitting here and you're at like complete burnout.
Yep.
And this happens in everything in our lives. I just remember being that mom, and it's just like you just have to come to a point and be like, I cannot make it from here to here. And it's okay to say, I already have another commitment. And oh my God, once you first do that, like once it comes out of your mouth and you say it, you're like, I didn't have to do it.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yep.
And they said it was okay. Thank you. They thanked me, but when I volunteered, I never got a thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
No, for
see you at
sure.
6 p.m.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's a hard lesson to learn is saying no, but it actually
Yes.
feels good and it allows us to say yes to the things that are priorities.
Saying no to your boss or saying no to your customers. I think saying no to your customers can be really, really hard, Renee. I don't know about you.
Mhm.
I have to have very, very strict return policy. I have to have really strict policies.
Right.
And that's because in all honestly, if you don't have those strict policies in hand, I would just go bankrupt and I wouldn't be able to service all of my customers. And
Right.
sometimes I don't think that they understand that. And it's not that you are trying to be mean or rude. It's you're doing it for the best of everybody, because one bad seed can ruin everything.
Yeah.
So for your mental health and for everything, like mom life, work life, tell your boss no.
Right.
I have an appointment for a cancer doctor,
Mhm.
and go.
Mhm. Yep.
you're,
Exactly.
you're over here like, oh yeah, my doctor really needs to do this blood work to make sure I don't have cancer, and
Yeah.
you're just working away like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll get to it later. Look, no, you won't.
Right. Or even if it's the dentist, whatever it is, they don't have after hours. So you're going to have to go during the work week and your
Yes,
boss
you
is
are.
going to have to understand it. That's just the way it is. Right.
It is, and it can be so challenging, but
Yeah.
and that leads us into like judgment and that criticism, and you feel like you're being judged or criticized for saying no or setting boundaries or for you know making it a point to have a passionate, fulfilled life, but
Yeah.
who cares?
Well, who can that really hit me because as I had grown, the one business and my jewelry
Yeah,
business. As soon as I made the decision to explore other opportunities in addition to that,
yeah, you were so criticized.
oh my god, it's like all of a sudden I'm, the leper because I'm doing
And
other
then you feel
things.
like you have to explain yourself. I remember seeing a couple of posts where it felt like
Yeah.
you were explaining yourself, and I'm like, "This poor woman."
Right, I felt like I needed to, have people understand why I'm doing things, and finally, it's like, "No, you know what? It's my fucking life. It's
Yeah.
my bills, my kids, my
Yes.
goals. Like, you're not paying my bills, right?"
Yeah.
So I finally was like, "I am doing things with integrity. I am sharing opportunities that will help women. We're using
Mhm.
this podcast so that we can also highlight women. We can highlight discussions, all of these things. I want women to just feel really good within themselves. And if there are opportunities that I have as an entrepreneur that I can share with others, I finally
Mhm.
embrace the whole let them. I love that
Yeah.
Mel Robbins, right? And she has this
Yeah.
whole like this new book, and let them. If they want to
Yeah.
criticize us for having multiple passions, well, let them. That's on them. It's not on me. So
Exactly.
it's all good, right?
People get criticized for anything, like from motherhood,
Yeah.
right? Of
You
like,
your
you're not
parents.
volunteering enough. You're not
Exactly.
doing this enough. You're not doing that. To being a working
Yes.
businesswoman, or if you're like corporate and you're still trying to find like that dream job, and maybe there isn't really a dream job, and you're going from job to job, and people are criticizing you before they even look at you because they just look at your resume and they're like, "Why'd you skip so many jobs?"
Right.
And you're like, there wasn't a fulfillment there.
Right.
I was
Exactly.
missing this.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily me. I was missing that. And there was a piece of the puzzle that just didn't fit. And
Yeah.
you know what? I mean, we have to stop judging and criticizing
Absolutely.
people alone. That
Absolutely.
you
I
just
think
never know.
it's very small-minded to think that one
So
person's
much.
going to have, like, one passion for the rest of their lives. So they're gonna be with one job for, like, the rest of their
You're
life.
not.
No, it's
Nope.
not. It's that in itself is insanity. So,
It is.
let
That
them
was like
criticize.
60s or 50s mentality, is that you would go work at a factory and you would stay there for 100 years. I mean, that is like that kind of mentality, and it's just not the reality that we live in
No,
right now. And plus corporations, I mean, who was it that just let off like a thousand people? Was it GM?
everybody
And
is cutting.
yes,
Like,
everybody does. It happens at least, once so many years. I mean, it happens.
yeah,
And you thought that this was going to be my forever. And now you're sitting here like, I'm
yeah,
40 years old. I'm 50 years old. What do I do?
yep,
It's
for
time to
sure.
reinvent yourself.
Yep,
And
that's
don't
what we're
worry
all
about the
about.
criticism. Yeah, don't
Don't
worry
worry
about the
about what
criticism.
they say. You know what? Let
Do
them,
it.
fuck them, whatever you wanna say, but it's all good.
And you know why? Because money will help you with mind shift.
Well,
It can be the root of all evil, but it can drive your mindset, okay, in either a good way or a bad way, people. And if you let it drive you in a good way, you're going to be okay.
yeah, mindset is everything for sure. Shifting that mindset, I partnered with a coach that created a program that I actually coach on, this millionaire mindset experience. But
I love it.
elevating your mindset to this new level, to this heightened sense of frequency where you are, working and manifesting, and there's just so much to it. But I love that because everything is right here. If you what you think you can, right? What you tell yourself, it is so important to speak positively about yourself, to yourself, for yourself. So,
I think it was
I love that.
probably in maybe my 30s, and one of the boys, they were doing something, and I said, you can do anything you put your mind to it.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my God, I sound like my father. My dad would always say that. He's like, you could put your mind to it. He's like, I bet that you could hit that circle with the ball with just your mind. And I'm like, oh
Mhm.
my God, Dad, you're so crazy. He's like, just try. Just focus on the circle and the ball will go in there. Don't take your mind off of it. And he kept, and it works, people. And when I said it to my kids, I'm like, Sierra, it works.
Yeah.
That is what happens if you put your mind to it
Yep.
and you don't take it off. It can do unimaginary things. It is absolutely such a powerful tool because it controls every being of you.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. Mastering your mindset is the key to all happiness and success because we all have shitty times, shitty days. We spoke about this, another one. It's how you pull yourself out of it. You can either stay
Absolutely.
in the negativity or you can find the lesson and the fulfillment from it and move on
Mhm.
to happier times. So,
Yes. And frustration doesn't have to be a place that you stay. That's,
no, please don't stay there.
yeah. If you're dealing with a difficult customer, there is a way to get out of that. Don't ever think. If you are dealing with a difficult boss, if your children are overstimulating you, if you're dealing with a difficult spouse right now, because it's just the season, you'll be heading out of the holidays, and then you're just like, oh, we have all these bills. that's a frustration too. So there are ways to get out of it, and you got this, and we believe in you. Don't
Yep.
ever think for a second that you can't come and reach out to us and talk to us. We are not psychologists. We are not anything, but
We
we are
are real
coaches, we
moms
are
with,
mentors.
yep, exactly.
And so we definitely, would love the opportunity to just give you I don't know, a virtual hug with
Oh,
an
look at the
inspirational word.
Yep, exactly.
Anytime we can.
Yep. I love I was thinking those exact words, giving you a virtual hug. So we're here for you. If you need anything, we're really excited that you listen to us and continue to be sure to comment on our podcast. That would be greatly appreciated. Share it with a friend who would like to have some fun and inspiration. We would appreciate that. So
Yeah, find some crazy friends just like us. Come on.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, have a great rest of your day, everyone. And we will see you on the next one. Stay unapologetically badass. And we love and appreciate you. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
All right, Queens, that's a wrap for today's episode. But before you hit pause, let's talk about you and how we can help you slay every part of your life. If you're ready to feel fabulous and look like $1,000,000, I've got you covered with my badass queen coaching, sparkling touchstone crystal jewelry, and Bella Grace collagen, because glowing skin and a sparkly vibe, that's a power move. Check it all out at reneecarbonefleming.com. And my co-host Sierra, oh yeah, she's bringing the heat too. Not only is she rocking Bella Grace collagen for her glow game, but she's also the queen of chic with her fabulous clothing boutique. From boosting your wellness to leveling up your wardrobe, Sierra's got the magic to help you shine inside and out. Check her out at Linktree/Sierra Whitener 7. So here's the deal. Head to our websites, grab the goods that'll help you live your best life, and let's make everything about you unapologetically badass. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with your fellow queens, because the more sparkle in the world, the better. Until next time, keep glowing, keep slaying, and remember, you're a badass queen who deserves it all.